Welcome to Easy Funding Secrets and welcome to the Black House. I'm going to be your co-host for today, Mr. Jay Morrison, CEO and founder of MGC Morrison Group of Companies, parent company to the historic Tulsa Real Estate Fund, as well as the legendary and super impactful Jay Morrison Academy, where I'm in partnership and collaboration with the CEO, founder of We Management, Mr. Will Roundtree, my partner, my brother in real life. And we have a special presentation for small business owners today. We understand that entrepreneurs, right? The definition of entrepreneurship is those who organize a business or exchange product and goods and services for compensation, but take greater than normal financial risk to do so. So as a business owner or entrepreneur or aspiring business owner or entrepreneur, small and mid-sized business, we know that you're taking great financial risk in order to realize your vision and your dream. We live it every day. I'm a 24-year entrepreneur. I've managed, owned, or controlled over 50 businesses in my career. I've consulted on hundreds, probably thousands of businesses in my career. And so I fully get business enterprise, business organization, business financing, and business scaling. I've once worked as a loan officer, also as a double branch manager for two mortgage companies. I'm also currently a private lender, fund manager, and we do a lot in the financial space. I've been a credit expert myself. I've been a funding and financing expert, and I understand leverage. I understand OPM, other people's money. I understand TBM, the bank's money. I want to give you guys a quick stat. There is a little over $50 trillion of cash, coins, and currency in the world, but there's over $230 trillion of debt and leverage and financing available in the world, right? So we have nearly 4 or 5 times the amount of debt and leverage opportunities in the world than we actually do cash, coins, and currency. This is why we believe in TBM, the bank's money. And so that's just a short resume on me. I'm really excited to introduce you to my partner, one of the brightest business minds, financial minds, credit experts, leverage minds in any community in the country, Mr. Will Roundtree. I want Will to tell you a little bit about himself. He's hailing from Las Vegas right now. We're here in Atlanta at the Black House. He's also a partner in the Tulsa Real Estate Fund and this Black House. But King Will, I want to tell him a little bit about you, your experiences in business, and then we're going to hop into, some concise, impactful. We're not trying to sit us here all day. We have some real game on how you all can adopt some of the newest banking strategies, right? For new banking strategies, new information to get a new bag for your business, whether it's a new or old business. I believe in the ideology of creating money out of thin air. I know how entrepreneurship and financing work. Will knows how it works. We just want to inform you, empower you, and offer you resources so you can stop complaining that money is your problem or that credit is your problem, because it's not. Its strategy is our problem. Its information is our problem, and our ability to tap into the resources that are already available for us. There's resources out there. There's loans and funding and financing and debt and capital and all that out there, but we strategically don't know how to position ourselves. I want everyone to write this down. Again, during this lecture, this free lecture training, you guys got to take notes. Please treat it like you paid for it. During this lecture, again, I want you all to understand that you got to put yourself in position. Position is a word I want you to write down. When you put yourself in position, we usually say preparation plus opportunity equals success, or we're going to remix that today and say position plus opportunity equals success. If you know how to find the room and get in the room, and you know how to work the room, you can leave the room with a check, right? And that room can be the bank's lobby, the bank's office, right? Or a private lender or financing partner, right? So anyway, guys, I want to introduce you again to my partner, Mr. Will Roundtree. He's going to tell you a little bit about himself, his journey, his passion in this business experiences, and the success that we've had in our partnership in funding, countless, thousands of businesses, putting them in position for tens of millions of dollars, probably even hundreds of millions of dollars in the private funding, creative funding space. King Will, please introduce yourself formally, talk to our audience, and then we're going to dive right into some heavy strategy to help these small businesses and entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. So Will Roundtree, for those who don't know me, the second half of what my brother always say, the Splash Brothers in this financial team. Originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, been in Las Vegas since 2005, been an entrepreneur for 15 plus years. I know a lot of people may have seen, just recently seen me come up on the scene, but I've actually been on this journey for over 15 years. I'm the president and owner of We Management Services, president and co-founder with my brother, Easy Funding, credit mastery instructor at the J. Morrison Academy, two-time author of the books, Credit is King and Full-Time CEO, which are really just manuals to help you with not only understanding more about credit, but also about entrepreneurship, because it's a lot of things that, we just dive into entrepreneurship and have no idea about. And one of those facets is about capital and how to get startup capital. And so definitely we're going to touch on that. I'm a real estate investor, developer. I'm a small business coach. But more importantly, I started out just like everyone who's on this webinar. I was a spectator, for a lack of better words. I was looking for more. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I had the ambition, I had the drive, I had the wherewithal. I knew I was disciplined, but I lacked the strategy. And that's why I reached out for mentorship, which has been one of my kind of reasons why I'm so just heavily immersed in wanting to educate not only the communities, our neighborhoods, my loved ones, and all of that. And so, 2013, seen a Breakfast Club interview with my brother Jay. It wasn't the money, it wasn't the real estate that impressed me or enticed me. It was his vision. And so reached out to him, let him know what my vision was to educate and teach people about this financial crusade called credit, because I learned that it was something that we weren't being taught. I started to understand that credit is more than just buying a house. It's more than just buying a car or getting a credit card to take your family on vacation. It was about why our insurance rates are so high. It was about employers now starting to run your credit. It's about now interest rates. Yeah, you may be able to buy that vehicle, but at what cost? 29% interest. And so I've been able to take this information over the past, like I say, 11 years. I am FICO certified, which means, I'm actually certified to train, teach, and educate on credit nationally. And with the information that I've learned in entrepreneurship, with the information I've learned about credit and how to leverage creative financing, and of course, the mentorship of my brother and partner, King J, I've now created 3 7-figure multi-million-dollar businesses. And I don't say that to impress you, but just to press upon you, the information is the value. And so hopefully you guys have a pen. As I often say, a short pencil is better than a long memory. And so just want to dive in. We're going to tag team and just really give you some valuable information. They say information is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. So we're going to give you the information that has definitely been able to help us to maximize our levels of success, whether it's in wealth, whether it's in, information, in any facet. And then I'm going to leave you guys with this before we dive in. I know King J talked about positioning. And I often say that not only do we want to be in position, but once you get in position, it's going to give you the power to purchase, whether it's more investment properties, whether it's to purchase or acquire an existing business, whether it's just to purchase your freedom. And I'm talking about time freedom. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn this back over to my brother, and then we'll dive in. And also, too, just briefly touch on, over the past 3.5 years, we've helped over 2,000 plus small businesses get access to over $300+ million of capital. Now, that's a lot of capital that we've helped individuals get access to. We're talking about startups. We're talking about mom and pops. We're talking about seasoned businesses. They've used it to invest in real estate, invest in the stock market, invest in their barbershops, invest in their salons, invest in their restaurants, their gyms, their brick and mortars, any type of business for marketing. I mean, trust me, the strategy has no limit on what it can be used for. And that's why I'm so truly excited. And the information that we're about to provide for you is information that we've gotten from our resources, our relationships, from the different bank managers, our different bank partners, our underwriting partners. So you definitely lock in, and we about to go in.
That's right. Splash Brothers in real life. We the Splash Brothers financial thing. We've helped over thousands of businesses get funding for their business in real life and in position for hundreds of thousands of dollars of funding. So here's what we mean by that. And I want to talk about real quick the proper mindset for small business owners. So when we say in position, what we mean is this is why we be so excited, why Jay Morrison get hyped and start yelling and start sweating and all of that, is because when Will, a college dropout, me, a former drug dealer, former high school dropout, and we're able to create multi-million-dollar businesses as Black men in America with circumstances that are just unnormal, and do it repeatedly. We know it's not luck, right? To do this over and over and over again is not luck, it's skill and it's strategy. And so when we say put you in position, what we're saying is, if I could help you get 5,000 in funding, but you understand the strategy to get 5,000 in funding, then guess what? That might be today based on your credit or your income or the bank options you have, but that doesn't mean that in 6 months you can't get $50,000 in funding, or in 6 years be in position for $500,000 in funding, or it could simply be in 18 months. You continue to grow as a business and an entrepreneur, and the strategies, there may be tweaks to them, but the core principles stay the same when it comes to getting a bag. So I'm talking about the proper mindset for small business owners when it comes to credit and when it comes to financing and funding. Now you're looking at someone that, yes, I'm the leader, the fund manager, the CEO, the founder of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, the first Black-owned real estate crowdfund in the history of America, which has executed the largest act of equitable group economics in the Black community ever since our existence here in America, right? We've raised nearly $12.5 million in under 2 years from 15,000 prospective partners from 22 countries, and I've built a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio, right? Doing that while running a multi-million-dollar enterprise and social entrepreneur school venture with the Jay Morrison Academy, where we've been Inc. 500 2 years in a row, top 10 educational companies in the country, number 588 fastest growing businesses in the country, while running multiple other entities, easy funding, other businesses, all that, right? So what I'm saying by saying all that, earlier in my career, I remember where the businesses weren't doing so well. I had payroll due, and I remember times having to pawn my jewelry to make payroll, right? Where I got a loan off the leverage of my jewelry collateral. I remember earlier in my business career, just several years ago, literally getting a capital infusion, right? A working capital loan from a business and literally paying a total of 72% interest over the matter of 6 months in order to get a high interest loan to keep my business afloat. It sucked. But as an entrepreneur, I had no other options. It was either fold my business or bet on myself, my genius, my ingenuity, and my vision I believed in, although it cost me. If you are not prepared to incur cost as an entrepreneur, you're in the wrong industry. You're in the wrong field. Go work for somebody, exchange your dollars for hours, and get a freaking job. If you're unwilling to take risks as an entrepreneur, you don't deserve entrepreneurship. You won't be successful in entrepreneurship. The literal definition of entrepreneurship is those who are willing to take greater financial risk than normal to pursue a business idea, right? So I, in my lifetime, have taken on 72% interest loans, which I succeeded in paying back, but which allowed me to grow a $10,000,000 enterprise, not multi, a $10,000,000 enterprise. So I have no empathy or sympathy for those who are willing to invest in themselves as an entrepreneur. Go Uber, go get a job, get a part-time job, go pawn jewelry, sell your Jordans, sell your handbag, do whatever you gotta do, go braid hair, get an extra craft, but do whatever you gotta do to support your business. You gotta be able to believe in your business so much and your vision so much that you are willing, and that's what we love about credit and leverage. So I'm gonna get to that. What we love about credit and leverage with this entrepreneur mindset, which means I gotta be willing to go all in for my business. Stop looking for a hand-me-down and a handout. When you wanna be an entrepreneur, a brand, an author, you wanna be a fitness coach or guru, a real estate coach or guru, a credit coach or guru, right? You're walking into big boy land, big girl land. This is not the free lunch line at school. This is for those who are willing to take their destiny in their own hands and are not about handouts. Maybe a hand up, but certainly aren't about handouts, and who are willing to bet it all on the success of their vision, despite anybody believing in them. So what we love about the credit game, the leverage game, so what we are kings of, the Splash Brothers, we are kings of the leverage game. We are kings of leverage and financing, what we call TBM. the bank's money? How do we use the bank's money in the $230 trillion that's in the world? How do we get access to it as small and mid-sized businesses? It's all it's about. Here's the cool part why, right? So I'm gonna give you 3 parts of mindset, and as Will show, I'm passing the rock. 3 mindset points. 1, we love accessing TBM, right? Here's the bank. We love accessing the bank's money because, in other people's money, because if we as entrepreneurs, we get a light bulb idea, some crappy light bulb, but it's okay. We get a light bulb idea. We want to believe in that idea. We're going to show you today how you can walk into the bank or online with a new company, a new LLC, a new brand, or an existing brand, and leverage the strategies we're going to give you to be able to position yourself to go into the bank and have the bank come out and lend you up to $50,000 or more of unsecured, uncollateralized, meaning you don't got to put your jewelry or your car or your art collection or your video games or your whatever, right? Uncollateralized capital, credit lines, credit cards, business funding, whatever to support your idea. I'm talking about from scratch, from you. Many times, no employment needed, no income needed, right? Low credit needed. And we'll talk about that in a second. But what we love about this mindset, again, 3 points. First point on mindset. 1 is that with this new idea or to scale an existing idea as a business owner, when you leverage the bank's money, if your idea doesn't work out, yes, you will owe the bank. But guess what? You still have all your own money, your own resources, and you took a risk. That's the difference from entrepreneurs, taking a risk. You took a risk on your idea, but you leveraged their money to take the risk. So God forbid you lose in this concept. It's actually the bank taking the first loss, not you. And so we're going to show you how you can start over and then do a new idea. But this is what's been happening in the world that people just never told you in high school, probably didn't tell you in college, and we didn't learn at home, is that you keep taking new risk, more risk, and more risk. And for the second, third, fourth, fifth idea, because not every business will work. Actually, most small businesses fail. But true entrepreneurs, true hustlers, they brush it off their shoulders and they go back and get some more bank money and go try a new idea over and over and over again until one succeeds. Stop looking at the entrepreneur, the Mark Zuckerbergs and Jeff Bezos and everybody in the world who have had these successful concepts. But before those concepts, most of them have failed at other concepts, but they knew how to get funding to keep restarting your ideas. So 1 is pass your risk on to the bank. Pass your financial risk on and liability to the bank. And here's why. If you screw up the bank's money, they're not going to come shoot you. If you didn't commit fraud, they're not going to come arrest you. They're going to send you a letter in the mail. Maybe a few letters in the mail. And they might call you. But with you risking the bank's money, we know our RBC, Real Estate, Business and Credit, in the J. Morrison Academy, our RBC philosophy, many of you have learned, is that all credit can be rebuilt, restored, repaired, and recycled. And I didn't say some credit. All credit can be rebuilt, restored, repaired, and recycled. So if you went out and used the bank's money and you had to leverage some of your personal credit or business credit to do it, and you took a loss on that idea, it didn't work out because you didn't take my business course and you didn't follow the strategies on how to properly run a business because you didn't want mentorship because you figured you just do it on Google or YouTube, and now you screwed up. Well, you can now go get the training you need, come back to the table, but even if you took a loss from the bank, from TBM, you took a big loss, you lost out on $50,000. Man, you sucked. $500,000, $5 million, or $50 million does not matter how much. Whether you borrow $8,000 from the bank or $800 million, they're still only going to send you a letter in the mail if you take a loss. Either way. Now, you can still go back and rebuild your credit, restore your credit, repair your credit, recycle your credit, and go use it again. When you embrace this strategy as an entrepreneur, when you embody this, it frees you up to go try the new things you want to do, that new app, that new software, digital marketing, new ads, billboards, staffing, right? You can really expand and scale and stop handcuffing yourself and restraining yourself to the limits in your mind, because your mind only knows the things that you know. But there's some things that you don't know, and you might be wise enough to know there's some things you don't know. But guess what? Are you wise enough to know that there's some things that you don't even know you don't know? There's some things you don't even know you don't know because you haven't been informed or exposed to even though they exist. So when you get that wise, you're able to free yourself up and understand that, hey, I can always roll the dice and shoot my shot strategically with wisdom as an astute business owner, but ain't no sweat if it don't work out. Get rid of that emotional trauma and baggage, those emotional restraints that hold you back. Your wife or husband in your ear, your family in your ear, your church or mosque or temple members in your ear, everybody putting their fears on you, what you can't do as an entrepreneur, how it won't work. Everyone told me in 2005, you can't do real estate with felonies. I had 3 felonies in 3 different states, served 2.5 years in prison, and one of the biggest names in real estate in the entire country. But they told me I couldn't do it in 2005. So stop listening to what everyone else says. Go bet on yourself, and we're showing you how. So that was one, right? One was fighting the fear. This was our second strategy right here, is understanding that your credit can always be rebuilt. So stop holding an emotional attachment to credit. I know it sounds cool, you got an 800 credit score, but it sucks you don't got $800 in the bank or 8,000 in the bank. How about 80,000 in the bank? How about 8 million in the bank? Because you leverage that credit score for financing your idea. It's not about the score or even the profile, how cool or sexy it sounds. It's about building wealth and having an abundance of assets that supersedes our liabilities and having something to leave behind for our heirs, AKA legacy, as we stand here in the Legacy Center. So that was strategy number 2, right? So first was the mindset, right? And the mindset of taking risk and repeated risk. Second was knowing that we can always repair and recycle our credit worthiness and those options. And here's the master part we're going to teach you guys. In our RBC strategy, we also believe in the power of personal credit, the power of family credit, the power of business credit, and the power of strategic credit partners. This is the sauce. So remember, I just told you, this is part 3. Remember, I just told you, you might take a risk on a business idea, but you strike out. If you guys just believe in us and just listen to us and believe in our authenticity, our experience, and what we've really accomplished in real life, and just embody these principles, it will open up a magic door to you like a Disney movie. If you strike out on personal credit, pursuing one of your ideas, when you get strategic, right? Like the wealthy do, we'll give you top 1% strategies. I have many, many, many wealthy friends from many different communities. And this is where this game has come from. If you strike out personally, if you follow our blueprint, you would have already prepared your family credit, your significant other, your mothers, your brothers, your siblings, your your aunts, your children. You would have been working on all their credit because you will be a credit master like us. And we have the training for you for that. You will work on your whole family's credit. So if you strike out on your light bulb idea, you now can then activate your wife, your daughter, your family member to go up next for the next house, the next investment, the next bright idea. That's how you play the game. And if family does not work and strikes out, remember, all credit can still be R4, rebuilt, restored, repaired, recycled. So while you're fixing your credit, so while you struck out and your family is going, you're now fixing your credit. We have those resources for you too. And then while your family's pursuing the next house, the next flip, the next wholesale, the next transactional funding, the next idea, they're pursuing it. And if they strike out, you'll be up next. Or while you're still getting repaired, there are 4 getting repaired, but then you got business credit you may have built using our business credit strategies. And if that doesn't work, and family and business and all that is tied up where they all struck out, and every idea you ever had just doesn't work, well, one, you need more training and mentorship, but if every idea doesn't work, you still have the opportunity for strategic credit partners, I mean, people you don't even know, who have a strong credit score or profile, who are looking for opportunities to invest their credit into. Not cash, but they're investing their credit into to turn it to cash to pursue another bright idea. This gives you at least 4 opportunities to be able to pursue ideas and have the capital resources. Don Peoples, billionaire, Don People said capital is the fuel for real estate investment and entrepreneurship. We're showing you how to get the capital in the funding, but how to not get emotionally attached to it and be able to recoup, repair, rebuild, and all that, and bounce back from any hardships that may happen under entrepreneurship. And in entrepreneurship, many times there are hardships. That's just a fact. Corona can happen, a pandemic can happen, a Spanish flu can happen, freaking anything can happen in entrepreneurship. Your family, your business model, technology can change. So you got to understand you may take losses. I'm giving you the strategy, a proven strategy to bounce back from losses and keep shooting your shot like the Splash Brothers, Jay and Will. All right, guys, so these are 3 fundamental philosophies I want you guys to adopt, as King Will now is going to give you the tactical strategies of the new banking guidelines and why most small businesses actually get denied for funding, new brands, entrepreneurs, small and mid-sized companies, why you get denied and how you can better maneuver in your application process and your business compliance process to not get denied. And then we're going to offer you an opportunity to actually get some game, resources, funding opportunities from us, right? So King Will, I'm passing the rock. Splash Brother Jay off, and now give them the game on tactically how they can get up to $50,000 or more of business funding opportunities with little to no credit or income.
Absolutely. So first of all, before I hop into that, even just talking about my own story and my own personal journey, you're going to take losses as entrepreneurs. I've often talked about, several years back, I invested in a franchise, something that we thought was proven. Used, over $80,000, and I lost every single penny of it, even got civilly sued. And I was able to leverage my credit to pay for my defense of my court cases, because the franchise owner decided to sue me for whatever reason, all because he was embezzling and stealing money and all of that. But more importantly, it was a risk that I was willing to take because I understood I was willing to bet on myself. So again, it's all about the strategies. But what I want to do is dive in is, first of all, I'm going to talk about some of the top reasons why people are being denied. I've been getting a lot of messages, a lot of DMs, a lot of emails, people saying, hey, I have a 750. Why is this bank denying me? I have a strong credit score. Why is this bank denying me? So I want everybody to grab a piece of paper, grab a pencil, a pen, and definitely take some notes. So one of the top reasons why banks are denying you, especially right now, is the industry your company is in. There are actually industries that banks consider high risk. So if your business is in a high risk industry, because of, the banks wanting to protect their investment, well, it's really our money, but it's, they're holding it, protecting their investment, you have to be conscious and understand that they deem certain industries as high risk industries. And so you have to understand the strategies on of what your business needs to look like on paper. So that's one of the reasons why people are being denied. Another reason why people are being denied is if you are telling the banks that due to any type of economic, situation or scenario that you are, your business has slowed down, you are no longer in business, you're waiting on some type of benefit or stimulus, the bank will automatically deny your application. Understand, if you tell the business, hey, things are going slow, so I need a cash infusion. I had to shut my doors or whatever the case may be. They're going to automatically deny your application because all they're thinking about is, okay, how am I going to make my money back if we loan this to you? So whether it's $5, $50,000, or anything else in between, be careful, because understand the banks are looking at how can I recoup my investment? But see, all they're thinking about is small businesses. We understand over 80% of them do not make it past year 1 to year 2. And if you've just told them that your business is slowed down or taking a halt or you temporarily close your doors, they're going to automatically deny your application. The next one, no company entity. I get a lot of people who say, hey, I have an EIN number. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean you have a business. If you're trying to get capital for your business, you must have an actual business entity. Okay. That means in the form of an LLC, a corporation, an S corp, or whatever the case may be. Now, another thing, you must make sure that that entity is updated and re-registered with the Secretary of State. You'll be surprised how many small businesses that we've attempted to help. We get them to, get ready to start their application submission. and come to find out that their business is inactive or it's been dissolved or it's in default status because they didn't pay to renew the registration every single year. So understand that not having a business entity or making sure your entity is not in position or even bank compliant. I often say banks want to see what you look like on paper. So you definitely want to be bank compliant. That's another reason. Another reason, credit score. You know, just because you have a particular credit score does not mean you automatically qualify. For example, you can have a 720, but if you have too many credit inquiries in the past 6 to 12 months, the bank can deny you. Or you can have a 760, but if you're maxed out on one of your credit cards, the bank deem that as high risk. So understand you also need to know the proper credit strategies to ensure that your credit is lendable. You know, banks are very particular because also understand, you know, banks go through cycles. You know, a lot of people may not know this, but banks are actually audited every single year or whatever type of fiscal calendar that they're on to determine how much money they are lending to small and medium-sized businesses. So they actually want to give this money away, but they still set certain guidelines and protocols in place that we have to adhere to. And so understandably that a lot of people go out there, they watch a YouTube video, watch a few lives and think just because, aesthetically everything may look good, let me walk into this bank and try to get an approval, and ultimately come to find out that it doesn't happen that way. It always still boils down to knowing the proper information. So you definitely want to make sure that the credit profile is in good position. And then lastly, is you don't have any bank track record, which is actually going to lead me into what do you have to do? What are the new strategies on getting these bank approvals? Because right now banks are starting to kind of tighten the grips a little bit. And so what I want to do is give you guys some new strategies, some new marching orders and new information on what to do to better your approval odds with the banks, whether it's a credit card, a credit, a line of credit, or a signature loan, or whatever the case may be. Okay. Now, also before I go into that, for anyone who contacts a bank and let them know, hey, I need some type of economic stimulus, can I defer my payments or anything like that? Understand, banks are cutting credit limits in half. So you want to be very conscious and understand the lack of information or what you don't know can hurt you. And so these are some of the things, you know, we talk a little bit more in depth in some of our trainings and different things like that. But I want to dive right in and talk to you now. What are some of the new bank approval strategies? Now, number one, obviously, is going to always be credit. I often get people that come to me and say, Will, I want to build my business credit. My personal credit is not in good position, so I'm going to focus only on my business credit. I'm going to go get some new Net 30 accounts and do all of these things. The first thing I want to tell you, that strategy is dead. You know, I often tell people information changes every 18 months. So we're still trying to operate off information that's over 18 months old. So the first thing you need to understand is you need to know what the banks are looking for from a personal credit standpoint. Your personal credit is going to make up probably over 90% of what the banks use as a barometer for a decision for approving you for an application. Now understand, whether it's a personal credit card, a business credit card, a business line of credit, a personal line of credit, a signature loan, which is all unsecured capital. I really want you to write that word down. It's all unsecured capital, which means no collateral, meaning you don't have to mortgage your house. You don't have to cross collateral your vehicle. You don't have to put up your company or anything of that nature. See, there's other strategies that some people have been enticed by to go and get capital for their business in the form of an MCA loan, which is similar to what King J talked about, where he said he borrowed money at a 72% interest rate. Well, as of now, some of those interest rates are as high as 250%. But did you know when you take out one of those loans, they actually put a lien against your business, meaning if you don't pay that money back, your business is null and void. You can no longer use it for anything when it comes to trying to get some capital. Now imagine getting a loan for $30,000 and your interest rate is 250%. Had a client who had one of those loans, his weekly payment was $1,500 a week for $30,000. And they make it very enticing to get. They say you can have bad credit, all of these things. So we definitely want to make sure you don't go out and get one of those. So you have to understand the banks are looking at your credit score. If you get enticed by someone who say they can give you all this money without good credit, trust me, it's going to come with the cost. And usually it's in the upwards of a 3-digit interest rate. So now understand, we often say you need a 680 minimum to go through and get funding from the banks, which is still true. But now the banks want you to have an even stronger credit score. And you may, sit there and huff and puff and say, man, I just got to a 680. Well, understand that times change, information change. And the difference between the 680 and the 700 may be you just paying your credit card balances down, which we have strategies to assist you with that. You getting that last collection account off, or you paid a collection account without knowing and it dropped your credit score. So understand that we just have to get you more strategies. And see, in everything that we're teaching you, everything that you come to us and that we're going to teach you is merely just strategy. Yeah, you may not qualify today, but the thing is for us to teach you how to fish. So 3 months, 3 years, or whatever down the line, you always have the information to not only put yourself in position, but to put your family in position, put your business credit in position, and finding strategic partners who are getting in position. So your personal credit definitely needs to be intact. Secondly, making sure that your company entity is compliant. You have to be compliant. Meaning, did you know if you don't have a fax number on some bank applications, they'll automatically deny you. So we're going to show you all of the things that you need to have in place for your company to be bank compliant. Okay. So what another strategy is, and this is probably the newest strategy or the newest form of information, is bank relationships. I want everybody to write the word bank relationships down. And I'm going to go in on that and why you want to have that, why the banks are looking for that, and why and how it actually can benefit you. So now when it comes to bank relationships, understand with a lot of things that banks have experienced over the past 10, 15 years, the whole economic crash in 2008, banks understand that there's always going to be cycles on how the economy works. And so anytime the bank feels that there's going to be a potential, cycle coming where things start to tighten up, within the financial cycles, they want to start making the guidelines a little bit different. Now, I've often been telling people getting the money is the easiest part, which it still is when you have the proper strategies. And so understanding the banks want the bank relationships because they're saying, okay, why would I lend you money and you have no relationship with me? Think about it. If someone came to you, you're an investor, okay? I came to you and said, I want to borrow $15,000. You don't know me from Adam. Why would you borrow me $15,000? I have no business acumen or very little. I don't have a business plan. I have very little experience in the field or industry I'm looking to use this money towards or this capital towards. I'm not providing you any tax returns and my credit is subpar. Why would you loan me money? And that's the exact same way the banks are looking. Now, let's say I have good credit. Let's say I have the tax returns. Let's say I have a P&L, but I still lack, the experience, or I still lack having a proven system within my business, being able to recoup whatever monies that you lend me. But you don't know me. Why would you borrow me the $15,000? And that's how the banks are looking. They want to know, do we have a relationship with you? So the number one thing that banks are looking for are bank relationships. What does that look like? That's something as simple as having a bank account and having money go through their bank. The reason they're doing that is because that shows a form of solidarity and also showing that this person has a legitimate business. See, in the business credit realm or the business credit world, that is probably one of the areas that banks often are defrauded the most. Banks are defrauded the most when it comes to business credit. For example, banks like Capital One. The reason when you apply for a Capital One business credit card, which is the Spark business credit card, it shows on your personal credit as well as on the business, because they know at one point that was one of the easiest cards to get approved for as a small business, which also, no coincidence, that was the bank that got defrauded the most when it came to small businesses. So what they've decided to do, you know what, if you're going to defraud on this, we're going to start reporting this on your business credit, on your personal credit report. So understand, banks are now looking for that relationship and understanding banking relationships. So they want to see that you have a bank account at minimum with them. Okay. So once you set up that bank account, what you need to do, or what you will want to do, or what we highly recommend you do, is start utilizing that bank for some of their bank products, meaning apply for that personal credit card. A lot of people get all up in arms and saying, hey, I only want business credit. And I'm like, why? It's all bank money. You know, one of my very first cash infusions where I leveraged my credit in 2013, I got over $47,000 in multiple cards, all personal cards that I used to parlay in, you know, and to helping me grow one of my first businesses that I got started from. And it was because I had the right strategies. I wasn't scared to bet on myself, and I had the vehicle in order to focus on servicing the debt. See, a lot of times people don't want to, they're scared to put their own personal name on the line because maybe they don't believe in themselves, or they think, hey, if this business goes bust, then it's all on my business. I don't have to worry about it personally. And so we have to get out of that mindset. It's all TBM, the bank's money. It's all OPM. It's all bank's money. You just need to have the proper strategies on how to use the capital or how to use it as a vehicle. And so that bank relationship, you get the bank account, you then start utilizing their bank products. So get that personal credit card. Secondly, if you have a small business, which you should, because you're trying to get business capital, if that bank has a merchant service, you want to apply for a merchant account. You want to apply for a merchant account because one of the things a lot of people don't know, some of these banks are offering rebates, meaning if you get a bank account with them, you get a merchant account with them, and then they see a certain amount of transactions that go through that bank, through that merchant account, that merchant or that bank usually offers rebates up to $5,000 just for being a customer of their bank and utilizing some of their lower end products as a small business. Because understand, if you run a business, and as a disclaimer, all my small business owners and entrepreneurs, Cash App cannot be your only form of accepting payments. You know, it's definitely a convenience, but Cash App cannot be your only form of accepting payments. Because what do you do when Cash App shuts down? Or what do you do when a client does a chargeback against you using Cash App and they don't have a customer service portal? So understand, having that merchant account with that bank separates you and now establish you by having a relationship with that bank. Okay. Another thing is making sure that you get your tax returns done. Sorry about that. You must make sure that you are filing taxes. Now, this is one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of entrepreneurs make. You make $100,000. Okay. You finally hit the goal. You made $100,000 for the year between your personal and business income. But because it all goes through one tax return, a Schedule C, because you're an LLC entity structure, you have one tax return that income flows through. Well, because you don't want to pay the IRS any money, you wrote off $80,000 in expenses, which if that's what you choose to do, that's fine. But guess what? When you go to the bank and you tell the bank how much money that you make for the year, what was your gross revenues after expenses, you can't tell them $100,000. You made $20,000. So understand, now the bank is only gauging you or judging you off your $20,000 of business revenue, which now is going to cause a denial in your application. So like King J mentioned, that there are expenses that your business is going to have to incur, which is why you need to have a tax strategist, not why you should, why you need to, so you can properly make sure that you are paying your taxes quarterly, your self-employment tax, all that, you know, good stuff. But more importantly, if you don't want to pay the IRS as a small business, you dig yourself a hole, because when you go to these banks and start trying to get business lines of credit, which most banks will give you a business line of credit up to $50,000 with very little documentation, but because you don't have your paperwork in order, you'll get an automatic denial. So one bank alone can get you that $50,000 that you need. You know, I had a client who owns a barbering school out in Long Island, New York. She has a barbering school, a beauty supply company, and then a company as just a barber shop. 3 entities. We took those three entities to one of our bank partners. And so initially I said, hey, set up a bank account with this bank. Set up the bank account, use the bank account for about 60 to 90 days. Then we went back to that bank after we established this relationship. And for each entity, we got them a $25,000 credit card personally. A business credit card, a $50,000 line of credit under their business, and a $25,000 personal credit card. So for each entity, we got them $100,000, which totaled $300,000 in total capital, all from one bank because of the strategy. But understand, it took them a little bit of time because we had to help them establish that bank relationship first. I said, you know what, guys, just follow my lead. I know you guys are getting a little anxious. Things may be a little bit tight, but you went this long without the capital. What's another 60 to 90 days? Because if you don't follow the strategies, guess what? You're going to go another 60 to 90 months without the capital. So understand, it's just about following the protocol. Okay. So that bank relationship was crucially important for them. So another thing, so we understand the bank relationship, having the bank account, signing up for their lower tier products, a merchant account, which again, all business owners need a merchant. How else are you going to accept payments? Next is applying for a personal credit card. Okay. Next is filing your tax returns and stop expensing everything. I get it. Trust me. You want to get a refund back. You're in the wrong industry. You're not built to be an entrepreneur on paper if you're trying to get a refund, because long-term is going to hurt you, even personally. Go try to buy a house when you're only showing 20 grand in income after you've written off 80 to 90,000 of your income. Okay. And so once you've established those relationships, you've been with them for about 30 to 90 days. Every bank is different. Now you can go and apply because they've seen the money's going through. And I'm not even saying a lot of money. They just want to see that you've established a relationship. You have the great credit. Your business entity is compliant. You have the fax number. You have your EIN number. You have, and speaking of EIN numbers, so this is something I don't want people to go out and waste a lot of money on. I often get people that come to me and say, hey, Will, I'm about to buy this 25-year-old company. I should be able to get tens of millions of dollars in capital. And that's not always true. Because did you know when you purchase a shelved corporation, which is the terminology that you most commonly hear people use, typically the old EIN number is not valid anymore because the EIN number is assigned to the actual entity owner. And the EIN number is for tax purposes, has nothing to do with credit. Okay. And so when you purchase that 25-year-old shelved corporation, you have to go and get a new EIN number. And so when the bank goes to the Secretary of State, they look up that it's a new owner in place. They look up and see there's a new EIN number. You do not get all of that back history. So you've just went out and invested. I spoke to someone who invested $25,000 in a shelved corporation and didn't get nearly as much as they thought they would get, all because they had the wrong information. Someone gave them the wrong strategy. They were operating off of old information. So understand that having that EIN number in place and being bank compliant is crucially important. And so once you've established that bank relationship, let me show you how it can benefit you. Okay. So now there's a difference between a business credit card and a business line of credit. A business credit card and a business line of credit. Business credit card means it's typically a credit card. You go, you can swipe it, which we even have strategies to help you get the cash off of the credit cards. We go in more in depth in that in our trainings. Okay. A business line of credit, like my client, she got a business line of credit for $50,000. You walk into the bank and you tell them, hey, I need 15 grand to pay for my marketing. The bank will give you 15,000 cash, or they give you checks to the account, or some even have a debit card attached to the line of credit. Okay. Now, most banks want your company to be in business at least 2 years in order to get or be approved for a business line of credit. Let me show you how powerful bank relationship is and relationships as a whole. So typically, when you are a small business and you're applying for business product, you have to go into the bank. Typically, you're going to deal with a small business banker as well as an underwriter. And so understand, when you have built those relationships because you've gotten a merchant account from them, you set up a business bank account, you set up a personal bank account, You apply for a business credit card and a small business and a personal credit card. Your 2-year mark is here. You're ready to go apply for a business line of credit. Okay. So we had a client who owns a sneaker company. Okay. Sells and retail sneakers. Was having a sizable amount of capital go through, got them a line of credit for about $45,000. And they said, you know what, Will, we want to set up another business entity that now sells the cleaning products because they didn't want to commingle the funds. They want to start another business that sells the cleaning products to clean the sneakers that they're selling to people. It's ingenious, really. Now they're a one-stop shop. So they set up another entity, went to the bank. First, they went to a whole completely new bank, tried to get another line of credit with a brand new LLC, and they got denied. Because again, remember, for a business line of credit, your company must be 2 years old. They got the credit card because everything else was in place, but they didn't have the 2 years in business. So they contacted me up and they said, King Will, we're trying to go get another business line of credit. I said, where did you go? They told me they went to a whole different financial institution. I was like, King, why are you diverting from the blueprint? So I said, you know what? Let me take you back to the bank partners where you already have the bank relationship at. And let's see if we can talk to underwriting, use our relationships, everything else you have in place, and see if you can get another approval. So what we did is we submit the information. We used our relationships with the bank. The bank took a look at it, had underwriting, and first underwriting declined the application. So I went back to my bank partner and said, look, we already have a relationship with you guys. You see what this business does. All they've done is just set up another entity. It's the same individual owner. Here's the profile, here's the credit, here's the revenue, here's the tax returns, here's the P&Ls, the bank statements, everything. Matter of fact, their bank statements is with your bank. So they took it under review, came back in about a week and a half, and they gave that brand new entity another $35,000 in a line of credit. Again, because of the strategies and the bank relationships. So the number one thing to get through these new banking criteria, the banking guidelines, yes, it's going to take some time. Some of you may have come on here and said, oh, I thought I can get 50,000 tomorrow. Well, some of you may be able to do so. But understand, and I know my brother King Jay is going to dive into this, it's about the relationship. And understand, you may not qualify today. Your credit may not even be in position today. Understand, it's the strategies to go off and learn how to fish long term. So because of the bank relationship, because of the strategies, we helped them get their brand new LLC was able to get another 25 to 30, somewhere around there, of additional lines of credit. On top of that, another business credit card and another personal line of credit. So now they have over $200,000 in capital that they can use for whatever, because it's unsecured, uncollateralized, and non-discretionary. So just imagine, what could your business do with an extra $5,000 today? You know, if you're not marketing it online digitally right now, I'm pretty sure your business has kind of taken some bumps and bruises, you know? So imagine if you had an additional $5,000 to put into some Facebook ads. Imagine if you had an additional $5,000 to hire that marketing team, that social media team, or whatever the case may be. Where could your business be today? So let's not get caught up in what you, because you don't get 50,000 immediately. Let's focus on building off of that $5,000 and getting to the 50, eventually to the 500,000 and 50 million, or whatever your end goal is. So just to recap, the top reasons on bank approvals, or the number one strategy, is banking relationships. You know, people often say, man, I thought it was some secret sauce. No, it's simple, but it's all about the information. Okay. So bank relationships, make sure your business is not in a high risk industry. For example, if you're in real estate and you say you're a real estate investor, some banks won't even let you open a bank account. But I'm going to give you this gem. You can say you're in property management and it'll fly below the radar. Okay. Another industry, if you're in trucking, I'm seeing a lot of kings and queens open new trucking companies, and I'm all for you. But understand, trucking sometimes can be a high risk industry. Say you're in logistics, you do local deliveries. Even if you drive your truck from the house to the docking station, that's local. So you have to be creative. It's all about perception on paper. Okay. So you got to make sure you're in the right industry. Okay. If your business has taken an economic decline or slowed down, or whatever the case may be, due to any type of economy situations, never tell them you've closed your doors. Don't tell them your sales have slowed down. That's the number one way for them to automatically deny your application. You want to say, hey, I'm expanding. That is one of the top reasons that small businesses, and that's one of the top reasons that banks are willing to help you or give you more capital, is if you tell them that you're expanding. Because when you say you're expanding, guess what they're thinking? More money is coming in. You've already shown them and proven that you can generate capital because you have a bank relationship with them. And let's not get caught up and say, oh, we'll already have one bank account. Trust me, you're going to have multiple bank accounts. You want to get money from every single bank that you can. I have clients who have bank accounts at 14 different banks, but guess what? They have capital from all 14 of those banks. Okay. Make sure your company is compliant. Make sure you renew your registration every year. You know, I have clients who've contacted me sometimes. Oh, I got to renew my company every year. Yes. It's the cost of doing business. We renew our cable bill every month. God knows that's bringing no return on investment. So go and pay the renewal fee every year. Some states it's as low as $50. Okay. And then lastly, make sure that credit is in place. Let's not take the credit for granted. I'm telling you, the credit component is 90+% of what's going to help you get this capital. And I promise you, you learn this credit game like you learn your favorite rap lyric. You learn this credit game like you learn your favorite TikTok challenge. You will always be able to get capital from the banks. Would you agree, King J?
I agree 100 million% in real life. Thank you, King Will, for bringing the game. Y'all see his passion. One, you see his knowledge base. You see his passion. He makes it plain. He breaks it down. And King Will, I want to go over 3 points as we close, y'all. Everybody stay locked in. Tell your family, wait, hold up. Stay locked in for this training, right? This is very important. We're talking about access to hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars of TBM, the bank's money. Why would you let anything distract that? If you are, you're being a poor CEO of your last name, a poor leader and visionary for your family. Tell the kids, tell the husband, tell the wife, tell the friends to wait. Business is at hand. So a couple things to King Will's point. We're not telling you all to lie on applications. What we're telling you all is to understand perspective and strategy. If I'm a small business and my application asks me what's the purpose for my loan, now, if my business is not doing well, if I'm asking for a capital infusion to get more customers, am I not expanding my current business? Me saying I'm expanding is not a lie. We're just telling you don't tell them the thing that will get you denied. It's just called wisdom, right? So it's all about perspective. This is not about us, again, it's being creative, it's about perspective, and we want you to be in compliance, right? So that was one. Two, because we want to be responsible mentors, responsible coaches. We don't want to set you up for a failure. Secondly, in the spirit of responsibility, responsible funding and use of leverage and credit. Most people say, yo, don't use credit. Dave Ramsey said, someone said credit is bad. Don't use credit. Those people have never climbed up from the mud and pulled themselves up by the bootstraps. Between Will and I, we got a resume 12 times Matumbo size of credit leverage. I'm talking about, I walk around with $100,000 credit lines, like at ease and disposal.
Right.
During financial hardship, when everyone was trying to get lines of credit and bank funding and government subsidies at SBA, I've done over 6 figures in SBA loans, et cetera, right? We do this. We're not newbies who learned something in a book or YouTube and then want to regurgitate it back to you. Like we are that's why I say Splash Brothers. I'm talking about Steph and Clay. I'm talking about Jordan and Pippen. I'm talking about the best to literally not just teach the game, which we're both great teachers, but actually we live the game. So here's a responsibility lesson for you. Understand the carrying cost of your debt, right? Everybody write that down. Carrying cost of your debt and your credit. What carrying cost is a cost you incur and you carry month to month as you take on this new debt and loan. You gotta understand that as an entrepreneur. I teach it all. Will and I and Isaac, we teach this in our real estate, business, and credit curriculum in the J. Morris Academy, and it's robust. There's textbook quizzes, assessments. We break down the game. You're not gonna get it all in one lecture. But check this out. When you get credit, funding, credit line, say it's $30,000. Say that's $30,000 is 20% interest over a year. That means you'll be paying $600 a month on your $30,000. Stop with your petty thoughts and your petty comments. 20% interest? What? You just got $30,000 on a new LLC you just created 2 weeks ago.
With no
Shut
collateral.
up.
No collateral.
With no collateral. Who was going to give you $30,000 in your family for cheaper than that? And if you had it, you should have did that then. So if you got to pay 20% to get 30,000, what you got to ask yourself as a responsible entrepreneur is, okay, what is 20%? So shut up and learn. 20% of 30,000 is essentially $600 a month in carrying cost. If you knew you had a flip, an opportunity, digital marketing, staff, or a play for your business that could be profitable that you believed in, then you know that 6 months of 600 is $3,600. So you got to ask yourself, if I get a $30,000 line of credit at 20% interest, 600 a month, putting a reserve of 6 months, which will cost me $3,600, is it worth it for me to get 30,000 to do my thing in my flip with my business? Will I make more than 3,600? If you're going to make more than your carrying cost on incurring the debt, it could be a good idea. Now, if you're going to make less than 3,600 in 6 months off of 30,000, then it might not be a good idea. This is why we teach you how to be financially responsible and astute and understand financial models in your business. Business is not for babies. This is the grow-up play. If you want someone to hand hold you and hand walk you, go be an employee and exchange dollars for hours. Business is for you to grow up and to take on risk, understand the cost of your risk, and then also understand, does my revenue opportunity, everyone write this down, does my revenue opportunity outweigh my risk? Your risk is $3,600 a month. Does my revenue opportunity outweigh my risk of $3,600 a month? If it does, then you consider the opportunity, right? So there's so much more we can teach you on. You see me passionate about it. I yell and I tell you to shut up and all those things because I teach tough in business. There are sharks out here waiting to eat you up. I can't be a pushover business coach. I'm setting you up for failure. I went through some of the most toughest things you could imagine in business, in real estate development, in entrepreneurship, and being a national brand, 2-time best-selling author. I went through some tough things, but that toughness, that endurance, Will's went through some tough things. And then we go through personal life while we go through the tough business things. But that what makes you different. That what makes you extraordinary and exceptional as an entrepreneur. Because you're willing to take on the tough risks and challenges of life in order to lead and be willing to create your own destiny through the production of your idea, your ingenuity, your innovation, and the success of your organization, right? So, resources, mentorship, let's get it. We have an opportunity for everyone. You guys want to get mentored by us in this business funding space. We have levels of mentorship. Right now, we have a unique opportunity and offer for you all, small business mentorship and resources for funding. This is not our full business training and business coaching. It's not that. This is for funding. There's an offer at easyfundingsecrets.com/offer. Everyone write that down. Screenshot it, whatever. easyfundingsecrets.com, that's the letters easy/offer. easyfundingsecrets.com/offer. In this program, we're going to give you guys a personal business and funding assessment. After you submit your documents to us and you follow our application and instructions and you engage in this program, our team is going to do an assessment of your credit and of your business funding opportunity. Keep in mind what I said earlier. Stop with the petty, basic, quick, oatmeal, microwave thoughts. Business is not that. It took me nearly 20 years to master this thing. I mean, I went through bankruptcies in business. I went through being broke, pawning jewelry. I went through hiring, firing, staff stealing, allegations. You go through it in business, and it takes time to get it right. It's not about you getting it right today. It's about getting the strategy and information, the mindset and the spirit of an entrepreneur so you can do it for a lifetime. It's not about the entrepreneur you'll be next week. I know you got bills. We all got bills. But what about the entrepreneur you'll be in 18 months with a commitment to this grind? I'm thinking about the you a year and a half from now, not the you thinking about 18 days from now. That's microwave, that's instant. Entrepreneurship is a long-time journey to building wealth. So we're going to give you an assessment. Your credit may not qualify right now. So what? Learn how to perfect your business and your craft. Start working on rebuilding, restoring, and repairing your credit while you assess your family credit, business credit, and strategic credit partners. You can create multi-million-dollar businesses leveraging none of your credit through proper LLC corporate veil strategy that we teach you, an operating agreement strategy where you can use strategic credit partners to build and grow your company while you build your personal credit. If you're that dope, if your concept is that viable. And I've done it in real life. Run multi-million-dollar companies while I was repairing my credit coming out of a bankruptcy. It can be done. I'm telling y'all the game, the sauce. So don't get flustered by how your assessment comes out, right? Just get the assessment, join the program. You'll also get access to our easy funding, multiple bank and lending partners. We got relationships because of the thousands of small businesses that we've helped get funded in real life for tens of millions of dollars of funding access. You guys can submit once you're approved to our multiple banking and lending partners. Now, when you go through our partners, we do business, means a fair exchange for goods and service. So our exchange in this is we get a 10% funding fee for only on the amount that you're funded for and approved for. So if we help you get $100,000 of funding, we get 10%, $10,000 on the back end for the opportunity to tap into our banking relationships, our compliance guidelines, and the strategies that we'll show you. If you can find cheaper money out there, please go get it. But we know, why they call it easy funding, with ease, our relationships trust us in how we put together files, vet businesses, and bring in the right clientele, and we keep strong with those relationships, which is why we've been successful. So we'll give you access to the banks and lending partners that we know actually cut the checks, right? Fair exchange, no robbery. Next, we'll give you access to funding, the business fund, our easy funding business funding training videos. So we're going to give you actually a full robust lecture on how the funding works, strategy, structure, similar to this with a little deeper dive on that. We're also going to give you access to our business funding compliance checklist. We'll give you a checklist of everything you need to do and go execute as a self-starter entrepreneur to get your business in compliance, regardless, again, of your personal credit at this time, because there's multiple ways we already taught earlier for you to leverage credit in strategic business setups. Then we're going to give you access to our J. Morrison Academy Credit Mastery Program taught by the credit master himself, Mr. Will Roundtree. The importance of this program is that once you master credit, you now, remember Will talked about the 14 banks his partners had? I'm telling you, this is the burden relief off your shoulders. When you understand how to master credit, you can make sure your daughter's credit is good, your son's credit is good, your partner's credit is good, your homeboy, your homegirl, your friend, your colleague, your associate. And so you can set up strategic businesses and credit partners so you always got a bag to go get. You always can get to some funding. So then when you take our digital ads class on how to run a digital business and do digital marketing, you can get smart like we do, and you could pay for hundreds of thousands of dollars of ads on a credit card from your business line. And then make money from those ads and just pay your credit line back off the same month. So now you can scale like a large conglomerate company, leveraging the bank's money. Again, God forbid it doesn't work out. They lose, not you. But then you have access to capital to scale and grow your marketing. As long as you follow the right strategies, you can test your marketing, make sure it's profitable, and always have that capital to pay the bank back responsibly and grow that relationship and grow your credit line. I'm telling you, know this like I know this. We do this like we do this. I just want to inspire y'all to follow suit. We can lead you to the lake, the water. We can show you how pure it is, but you got to actually scoop the cup and drink. So after you learning credit, it will put you in position to see these strategies. It's all strategies. It's game. Like we learn game, many of us in the hood and in the community, we learn the routes, the shortcuts, the secrets, the ups, the downs. No one ever taught us the 1% of the wealthy tricks. That's why we used to say Black Robin Hood. It was taking the game from the rich and giving it to the poor. We're giving you the game of the top 1% in real life, but you got to learn and embody your strategies. So you're not just relying on us. So you could be that master, that CEO, that leader. And then we give you access to our monthly group mentorship calls. Our team, once a month, will give you an access to a call. You call in, and you can ask questions, get more strategy, keep you encouraged, get more game. But you got to tune in for those calls. I believe they're every third Thursday, and that could flip around as your email notifications will give you. Your responsibility is to meet the checklist, be in compliance, learn the credit mastery, learn the strategies, and then go implement and be patient and mature in the process as a growing professional and entrepreneur. This entire program right here, easyfundingsecrets.com/offer. We're giving you guys this entire mentorship program here. You have 72 hours, and we're going to give you a limited time deep discount opportunity. This program is seriously usually thousands of dollars, as it should be, because it's an investment for a small business, but we're giving it to you all within the next 72 hours for $397, a $397 one-time investment for you to get access to this mentorship program, funding resources, checklists for business compliance, the monthly mentorship call, the game plan for your business assessment, all that for mind you, are an entrepreneur, you are an aspiring entrepreneur, you are a brand or a business, and you're looking for tens to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of capital. A $397 investment for your business to learn new strategies that will carry you forward in the future is pennies. I'm not talking about strategies you just use for the next 30 or 60 days. I'm talking about 6 years from now, applying the same game, going to get the bag. You ever fall off your feet? You have now got the information no one can ever take away from you to put yourself back on. That's why I personally can be, and Will has even been, and most of our team has become advocates or activists or freedom fighters or liberators or free thinkers and free speakers. Because we're not worried about somebody coming to save us or pay us. We know that with our ideas and our ventures, we can always, because of what we know, create money, opportunity, or get leverage or get a bag to save ourselves and provide for our families. That's freedom. The freedom can constantly be leveraged from the 230 trillion of credit in the world once you know what you're doing, right? So again, $397, 72 hours for you guys to get access to this program. It gives you 1 year access to the mentorship calls. You get your assessment. We'll give you the game plan. We'll give you the credit mastery training, which is 24 lectures over 12 hours of credit mastery training, all within the next 72 hours at just $397 at easyfundingsecrets.com/offer. If you're not into doing good business, meaning fair exchange, this is a very fair exchange, no robbery, and all you want is free and handouts, you are not fit to be an entrepreneur. Your mindset's not ready. If all you're looking for is a gimme, and you're never willing to make a value exchange. All right, so I want to leave y'all with that. I'm going to ask my brother, the Splash Brother, Mr. Will Roundtree, full-time CEO. Hey, King Will, take us out of here. I want to remind you guys, easyfundingsecrets.com/offer. Will's a great motivator. I love his mindset thinking and training. Hey, King Will, take us out with a mindset piece, please, and any reinforcement on the value of this opportunity. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things I often share with people is that, you know, we always miss out on opportunities. And we often miss out on opportunities because of our poor thinking. And I often tell people, poor stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. You want to write that down. Passing over opportunities repeatedly. See, poor has nothing to do with how much is in your bank account. Poor has nothing to do with if your bills are backed up or if they're due. You know, and see, one of the reasons why most people who come from the mud like myself, King J, and other many successful entrepreneurs is because we got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you're done with that poor man's or poor woman's mentality, if you want to change your financial situation, if you're looking for that freedom, you want to be able to take your heirs on a vacation in the middle of the week. If you choose not to go to work on a Monday because you just want to call in for the sake of calling in, whatever it is you want to do, it's up to you to make that decision today. See, wherever you are today is because of the decision you decided or the decision you didn't make 3 to 5 years ago. So if you're looking to get a new outcome, if you're looking to have a new perspective, if you're looking to have a new mindset, a shift in your mindset, you know, you need to make a new decision today, you know, and I'm gonna leave you with this. When you change your thinking, that's when you'll become successful. When you change your thinking, that is when you'll become successful. And you may say, you know what, Will, you know what, Jay, I know that all sounds cool, that sounds cute and all of that, but I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. I'm going to tell you something that somebody told me a long time ago. Will, stop focusing on the how-tos. They'll come. Once you know why you're doing it, you'll become successful, but that all comes with the shift in your mindset, a shift in your attitude, and getting rid of that poor mentality that you got. So that's all I got for you. Make the decision to join today. Accept whatever responsibility you have to accept. Yes, it's going to be an investment, but we invest in things that give us no return on investment. You know, I'm pretty sure everybody's went on a bad date before that possibly was a bad investment. So understand that. Let's just, you know, buckle up. Let's become our own stimulus packages. Let's become our own saviors. Let's be our own SBA loan officers, all of those things. But it all starts with the information. It starts with the tactical strategies, and let's go out there and be great. And that's all I got to say, King.
In with us. Make sure you also get that Jay Morrison Academy training at jmorrisonacademy.com. King Will's teaching. I'm teaching. Isaac's teaching. We're breaking down real estate, business, credit. This is life-saving stuff. That's our why we do it. Because we came out of a space where all this information was new, and we're like, yo, they doing this out here?
Easy.
And our moms and pops and them never got this? This is why we do it. And we make sure that wealth education is more affordable, more relatable, and more accessible. And that's our goal here at the JMA. Is why Will and I partner with Easy Funding to bring our gifts and talents together to have a championship team. Again, easyfundingsecrets.com/offer, guys. 72 hours at $397 for this group mentorship package and resources to our private, personal banking and lending opportunities for you, if not today, for even in the future for your business. Put yourself in position. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you soon. We out. Peace. Love you, King Will. See you soon, King.
You too, bro. All right, peace.